Alright guys, Quantum here, going to bring you a quick review for Lumines Electronic Symphony for the PS Vita. I haven't seen any video reviews up of this game yet, and it's a launch title, so I decided to do one myself. It is a phenomenal game, and it's the second highest rated game on Metacritic right now for the PS Vita. It is a launch title that came out on the 22nd, I believe, in North America at least, and it retails for a full $40 in the physical form and $35.99 on the PSN, I believe, and it's a 700 some megabyte download if you choose to do it in the latter route. So prepared for some space to be used up on your memory card. But is it worth it? I'm going to discuss this game from 6 main perspectives: gameplay mechanics, visual and sound, online integration, replayability, trophies, and finally the price. And, you know, kind of give my ultimate verdict on whether it's worth it or not, the purchase. So for the people who have played Lumines before, there are a couple of changes that you should take note of in this game. The first is there's now an XP bar at the top here where you can level up your character, and basically all it does is as you progress further in the game or you play more, you gain more XP, and with that you just unlock more skins and avatars, which is attributable to a trophy, the gold trophy in this game, which is to unlock all that stuff. So just keep playing. Once you hit level 50, which I believe is the cap, you'll have everything unlocked and you'll get that gold trophy anyways. There is the main mode, which is the giant pink square you see there, which is Voyage, and then you have more modes. I'll just go through this really quickly. You have a master mode, which is like a trial mode here. You got 5 of them. Let's go back. You got dual mode, which doesn't have any actual like PSN functionality. The dual mode actually only functions with ad hoc, so you have to be actually physically beside the other person with a Lumines game or an Electronic Symphony on PS Vita game in order to play multiplayer. You have your stopwatch mode, which is common across every single Lumines game since its inception in 2005 on the PSP. And you have a playlist mode. Now this is the most interesting because as you've unlocked more skins and stuff in the game, you can actually drag and drop tracks or skins that you want to play with, and you can switch up between an endless mode and just a normal play mode. So it's really good. You can play your favorite tracks and skins, you know, constantly on maybe on a bus ride home or something like that. So you can just chill out to the music, play the game, and that's a pretty useful feature. Now the entire main menu is also a touchscreen interface, so if you don't like that, you know, tough luck. It's actually not that bad to navigate. I'm not a big fan of touchscreens myself, even though I have a Samsung Galaxy phone, but you know, I'm used to it, so it's anything too bad. In terms of further online integration, you have leaderboards at the top here. You click on that and you can see your ranking on all of these modes, in friend rankings, global rankings, you know, weekly, daily, all-time kind of thing. And then you can check out your friends list to see what they're playing. The friends listing doesn't really have much purpose. You know, you can just on the PS Vita menu click on your friends and see that anyways. But another online mode, not really an online mode, but it's something called World Block, which is a giant block that everybody in the world who has this game can try to I don't know, erase, I guess. And you know, I haven't done it yet because every time I log on it's already erased, but it's kind of a cool thing. I want to try it one day. So let's get into the actual gameplay and mechanics of Lumines. Now, not much has changed, you know, given how good the gameplay and the mechanics were in previous Lumines games. I don't know why they would change anything. So I'm just going to start the main mode, which is Voyage, and discuss that. So you're still going to use these circle and X buttons basically to rotate your blocks, and then directionals to move them in the direction that you want. And from there you're going to try to build up the squares, which is aligning 4 blocks in a row, or not in a row, in a square pattern in order for it to be erased by the erase line that keeps going across the screen. So that, you know, the core mechanics of what made the game good is still there. An added feature is you can use the touchscreen to play the game if you want. Again, like I said, I'm not a big fan of touch controls. I prefer buttons, so I'm just going to use that. But whatever, you know, the option's there if you wanted it, whatever floats your boat kind of thing. One of the additions they've added to the game is the avatar that you always used to have in Lumines. Instead of just sitting there boogieing out to the rhythm, you can actually use him. Now, each of the 41 avatars in this game have an ability. Some of them are redundant, or a lot of them are, but they have a multiplayer and a single player ability, and you activate it just by touching him. So this guy currently, he'll give me a chain block whenever I touch him, which is a block that'll erase everything that it comes into contact with of the same color. So for example, look on the next 3 blocks that are going to fall here. I'm going to drop this block, and then this one right here, I'm going to touch him, and he's going to turn one of those into a chain block. And he did on this bottom left-hand one right there. It's turned to a chain block, so anything that it comes into contact with that's blue will be erased. And you don't have to have the chain blocks in a square for them to activate like you did in previous Lumines games. They just activate as soon as you drop them, which is kind of cool. Another added feature is the addition of shuffle blocks, which is like the chain block. Anything that it comes into contact with, it'll affect. But these guys, they just completely randomize the blocks that it touches. So it's a bit of a challenge for veteran players because it can kind of undo the setup that you've developed, which is a good thing, right? The game could use some more challenge. So overall, I mean, the gameplay is excellent. It's solid. It's got that classic Lumines feel to it. If you love Lumines, you'll absolutely love this game. Not much has changed, which is good because the formula worked from previous games. It's got that, I don't know, like that arcadey kind of feel to it, you know? Where it's just classic, going back to like, I don't know, just raw, skill-based gameplay. You're competing for a high score, basically. And, you know, you play through the game once, it's over, you try again kind of thing. You put in more quarters, essentially, and try again. And I really like that that classic game feel. You know, you don't really get that experience with too many games these days. It's one of the main reasons I absolutely love Stardust as well. You know, not too many games aim for this high fidelity, immersive experience. Sometimes you just want a classic, you know, arcade experience, and this game definitely offers that, which is a great thing. So gameplay wise, I'd actually give it a 9 or close to a 10 out of 10. I absolutely love Lumines though, so I may be biased in that regard. So next I'm going to talk about the sound and the visuals. Now, I'm just going to say straight off the bat that this game's going to get a perfect 10 in this department as well, because that's what the game, you know, that's its competitive advantage. That's what they built the game to excel in. They have a very, I don't know, like intricate or very carefully picked soundtrack for this game. They really made sure they did their due diligence. You know, they have everything from Benny Benassi and house music to techno to LCD sound system to Mark Ronson, you know, just classic electronica. Like, I mean, they have like an amazing soundtrack overall, some amazing artists. The songs are incredible. You definitely won't be disappointed. I mean, you can just rock out to on the bus with this game and its soundtrack, and there's a 3.5mm jack on the bottom, so you can just use any standard headphones. And the visuals are, you know, with every Lumines games, they're absolutely stunning. Here's a skin that actually shows it off quite well. They actually made a new engine for this game, and it actually has, or actually uses 3D block technology, I guess you could call it. But basically what that means is that there's actually depth to the blocks that's falling now, instead of just, you know, a classic 2D image. And it makes it look really nice. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's a lot, but it does make a bit of a difference, and it helps to add to that visual fidelity of the game, I think, and offer a little bit more for your experience here, making it a little bit more immersive, you know, just making it better, which is what sequels should do, right? Improve upon the previous iteration. So finally, I'm going to talk about, well, not finally, but next I'm going to talk about the online integration of the game. In this section, it's only going to get a 4 out of 10 from me. It's good that it has, you know, leaderboards and stuff like that, but the lack of an online multiplayer mode over the PlayStation Network kind of really irritated me. I was really hoping that this game would have that. I really want to play online against some people with this game, but I guess it's not going to happen. So, I mean, I don't know why they didn't do that, but I'm sure they had their reasons why. Well, other than that, there's not really much else to say about the online. You know, you have your leaderboards, and I guess that's all you're going to get. So, next up, replayability. Now, this is where, again, Lumines is meant to shine. Given it has that kind of arcade experience where you just compete for a higher and better score, it plays off the mentality that you always want to kind of beat your high score and therefore, you know, you replay every so often, just like Super Stardust or something like that. But more than that, the game is actually fun to replay. You're not just replaying it for a higher score. You're actually playing it because you want to relax, or you're on the bus, or you're waiting like at an airport or something like that. And you know, you just bust out Lumines because it's something fun to play while you wait. So the replayability, you know, a 9, close to a 10 out of 10 here. It's what the game excels in as well. So number 5 that I'm going to discuss is the trophies. This game, it doesn't have a platinum. It just has a standard 315 point trophy list that PSN games have, which is kind of a shame. They could have kept some of the modes from Supernova and maybe beefed up the actual content of the game to give it a platinum trophy. And, you know, not to say that the platinum trophy is the make or break, essentially, but, you know, usually if it has a platinum trophy, the game will have more depth or more things that you'll have to accomplish in it, which I'm all for. I love platinum hunting or trophy hunting, and I do it at every chance I get. So, like, they cut out things like mission mode and puzzle mode, like solving or making pictures like they did in Supernova with Lumines blocks. And they could have easily added that for this game, but I guess they decided not to. And, you know, they could have had the online mode. They could have had trophies for leveling up. They could have had trophies for completing a lot of specific tasks with the individual game modes. But they just have a basic trophy list. It's really stripped down, really bare bones and basic. And you know, you can pretty much complete the trophy list in, you know, maybe 7 to 10 hours, I guess. It's not too difficult if you're a good puzzle player or a good Lumines player. So you should have no trouble there. Finally, the price. Now, this is where usually the make or break comes into play. Even though the game is amazing and the replayability is good, the game is redundant, right? And there's only so many times you can replay it in a day, I guess, before it gets boring and you just, you know, you gotta move on to something else. And at $40, that price point is very steep, especially for a lot of gamers these days, or not these days, like pretty much any time. I mean, nobody wants to spend money where it's not, you know, best utilized, right? As an economics student, I can understand that better than most people. And is $40 really justified for this game? In my opinion, no. Unless you're a diehard Lumines fan like I am, it's not a day one purchase for $40. There's just not enough content there. You know, there's better things you could spend money on, basically. And with the Vita, you're pretty much buying it for that high fidelity console experience. And while Lumines Electronic Symphony is definitely high fidelity, it's not nearly it doesn't nearly give you that immersive experience of like an Uncharted game or something like that. You know, like I said, it's just like that arcadey kind of game that gives you the feeling that, oh, I want to compete for a higher score kind of thing. Other than that, you know, you're not going to get a great story or, you know, really immersive cutscenes or something like that. You're just going to get your standard repetitive gameplay, but it is great gameplay nonetheless. So, I mean, if you really want something that gives you that arcade experience, I would definitely go for Lumines Electronic Symphony if you want to puzzle it, or Super Stardust if you want, you know, the more of a, I don't know, shooter experience, I guess. But yeah, $40, quite steep to justify. I would definitely pick this up at $20 without thinking about it. At $40, I had to really debate if I wanted this game. But it is part of the reason I bought a Vita, believe it or not, was for this game, because I absolutely love the games that Q Entertainment puts out. And for me, bus rides to school, 45 minutes there and back, this game will more than enough get its money's worth out of it for me. So that was my justification for spending the $40 on it. I also did purchase Super Stardust HD, and I actually opted not to purchase games like Uncharted because I decided to wait for those to drop in price. But, you know, whatever you reason with, I would recommend you pick it up if you want a game that'll offer you that replayability, and if you like puzzles, you know, you can't go wrong with Lumines. It's probably the best puzzle experience out there. I don't know any game that could rival it or say that it's better, not even Tetris. So that pretty much does it for this review. Overall, I'd give it a 7 out of 10, mostly deducting points from the lack of modes, and therefore the lack of the Platinum Trophy, as well as the price. If this game was $20, I'd probably bump it up to an 8 or a 9 out of 10. It is definitely one of my favorite game series of this generation. So trying to be unbiased as I can here, but the price, it really kills it. But I mean, it's a Ubisoft game, and you know what people say about those is that, you know, they'll drop in a couple months, as with all the Assassin's Creed games and stuff like that. So give it some time, and this game will definitely come down in price. There's no way it can sustain a $40 price point for too long, I imagine. And when it drops in price, that's when I would highly recommend you pick it up, because it's a great game. And it, you know, I'd like to think that it makes you smarter because it's a puzzle game, but it probably doesn't. Who knows? But that does it for this review, guys. If you like it, please check out the channel for more Lumines Electronic Symphony content and other PS Vita game reviews. Lots of stuff coming on the channel. Subscribe, like the video, do all that great stuff. Thank you for watching. Quantum is signing out.